Hello, my name is Elijah. Welcome to another episode of Chasing Perspectives, and this right here we call the edit disc, where I get to run you through edits in real time, explaining exactly what I do, explaining exactly what is on my mind, and explaining exactly how I want things to come out. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in again. And today, as you can hear, I took some presenting lessons. So I'm out here with my smooth voice trying to get my late night radio on, hence the smooth music in the background. But jokes aside, every year for the past 2 to 3 years, we've been creating images on Heritage Day that completely signify what Heritage Day looks like and feels like to us by using beautiful African print, beautiful African models to really tie in the whole idea of we are all African and we all are from this beautiful continent. So with that being said, this year was a bit different. We didn't particularly shoot for Heritage Day, but I still wanted to make a Heritage Day post. I still wanted to be part of the whole celebration of what Heritage Day is, because I'm all about knowing, loving, and understanding exactly where you come from, and I love this continent more than you can ever imagine. But more on that on another episode. So this year we had our beautiful model Palesa, which actually happens to be the same person we used for last year's Heritage Day shoot, but that's beside the point. The point is, this year we didn't have a specific image that we particularly shot for, so I dug into my archives and found an image that I felt really could be added upon and enhanced for Heritage Day. So instead of me shooting, I did a little bit of Photoshop magic here and there, and I created an image, and this is exactly how it went. And we are right in Photoshop, and we start exactly where I start on all my images, which is clearing out the skin, any blemishes, marks, eye bags, lines, scars, any unnecessary thing. Basically, I remove any imperfections that will hinder the image from being perfect. At this point, I'm bringing back the texture that I completely took out when I was smoothing. I think I went a little overboard there, so I'm quickly fixing that up. Right now, moving further down on the body with the same mindset of removing any imperfections that I feel will hinder the image from being perfect. So it's more about just looking out for blemishes again, looking out for spots that I don't like, looking out for scars, looking out for discoloration, and etc. And now I'm back in the face again. It's a round trip, so it's never just focusing on one thing and then you're done. It's more about moving across the image to get as much as you can, and then going back to go over exactly what you went over before to make sure that the detailing, the texture, the skin is perfect and everything looks natural. My editing style is always about making things look natural and not plastic. Right now what I'm doing is that I'm copying the earring from one side to the other side, because as you can see, the other earring on the left side of her ear is not visible. So as opposed to just leaving it as it is, I want to have a little more symmetry in the images, especially when it comes to the accessories. So I'm going to take the earring from her right side and clone it to her left side. Right now on the body, if you look closely, her left side has got this red light shining on her. That's an effect that I got from using something we call gels in photography. So it's basically a color filter that you put over your studio lights and you get this red effect. So on the left side we've got this effect, on the right side we didn't. So when we're shooting on set, I don't know what got into my head, or maybe I was just tired, because these things are tiring and they're draining. I put the light on the left side and I didn't put it on the right side. So you know what, I'm going to try to remake the effect on the right side by utilizing some color and also some blend modes in Photoshop. At this point of the edit, I'm jumping into Google to start searching for some African print patterns that I can use to Photoshop onto the bikini she's currently wearing. Like I said, there was no specific plan for this, so I didn't shoot anything in advance. I was really just trying out a few ideas to see what exactly would work. So the concept here, or rather the idea here, was for me just to find the right kind of African print that will tie into the head wrap she already has on, because I've got an idea of exactly what I'm going to do with that at a later point within this edit. And at this point, I just realized that the color of the bikini is actually not going to work well with the idea that I've got in regards to putting the patterns I've downloaded from the internet over it. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change the color of the bikini to more of a red, so it also kind of ties in a bit more to her skin tone, because the ultimate color grade that I'm going for here is more of a red tone as opposed to just brown. So the red is going to bring out her skin tone a little bit more, and it's also going to be something very striking and eye-catching. It's a back and forth dance. I keep going back and forth trying to find the right print. Just when I thought I found one, I just realized that maybe it's lacking something here and there. So what I do is that I just go back to the drawing board, try to find another one, try to Photoshop that into the bikini and see how it'll look. Some of them work, some of them don't work, but the goal is to keep going and not really to stop until you find exactly what you're looking for. And then I finally found it. Here's the one that I'm going with. Right now I'm just cleaning it up, making sure that it looks a bit more natural and it fits into the bikini even more perfect, and it doesn't stand out and becomes an eyesore. Once I figured out which print I wanted to go with, I go back to what I was initially doing, which is smoothing the skin and finding little blemishes or little mistakes and inconsistencies in my edit and try to fix that. How I edit is I always go back and forth. I always look at where I started and I always look at where I want to end, and I also look at the middle. So it's not one cohesive progression of point A to point B to point C. It's more like point A to C and then to B. Maybe then I realize that I actually need to add a point D, and then I put that in. But ultimately, it's all about going around the picture, refining each and every aspect of the picture within the editing process as much as I can. At this point, I start working on a big feature of the image, which is the head wrap. So the idea behind the head wrap is to make it bigger. So we didn't have materials we could add to that head wrap to make it bigger. So I just realized that, for me to really create an iconic image and something that's going to stand out besides everything that's happening there, is that I need to see how I can make this head wrap big. And I was inspired by those Nigerian female head wraps. I think they call them gelezes. Yeah, correct me in the comment section below, but I was inspired by those, so I basically tried to mimic those or use those as a base for me to duplicate and copy the head wrap that we already have in the image and make it bigger and blend it in together to make it seem and feel like it was one thing. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing in this part of the edit. Right now I'm just adding a little bit of shadowing under the duplicated layers of the head wrap so that it has more of a natural looking feel, as opposed to it just looking like it's just been copied and pasted on top of each other. So it's all about just blending in these different copies into one big thing and making it look and feel natural. And then of course I go back to, again, smoothing and smoothing and smoothing and more retouching, removing little blemishes, etc, etc, etc. It's such a process. It takes so long. You guys have no idea. You guys are seeing this in 5 minutes. This took 2 hours to edit this one picture. So yeah, but let it continue. At this part of the edit, what I'm doing is I'm adding a little more contrast. So I'm darkening up the shadows so that I can also come and lighten up the highlights. So I'm basically trying to create as much natural feeling and looking contrast as I possibly can. So the whole point of this process is to bring out her features and bring out minor little details that I feel need to stand out more. The lips are a very important part of the edit. So if You don't edit her lips, as you can see here. She's gonna end up looking a bit ashy. So I just went in there with like a light retouch, and I just touched up lines that I felt weren't appealing to me or even attractive, and I left the ones that really accentuated her lips. Thank you for tuning into another episode. If you are on Instagram, please do turn on the post notifications and leave a comment below with your thoughts. If you're on YouTube, please do like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on that bell notification so you get alerted to every time we post a new video. With that being said, I'm going to leave you with a couple of thoughts that I learned from this whole experience and editing this image. So I'm trying out something a little bit different. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. The lesson learned from this image is your imagination can only go as far as you want it to. You may not have everything you need, but you'll never know what something will become if you don't start. I'm Elijah. Thank you so much for tuning in once again, and I will see you again soon.